The night was colder than usual, the kind of cold that made even the streetlights shiver. An old man sat alone on a wooden bench outside a small bakery, his hands trembling, his eyes quietly searching the empty road. People passed by, but no one stopped. It was Christmas Eve, yet for him, it felt like the world had forgotten he existed, until one stranger finally paused, and everything changed. Every small town has stories hidden in silence, and in this town lived Samuel, a gentle old man in his late 70s. He wasn't always poor. Once, he had a small carpentry shop, a warm house, and laughter that filled his evenings. But life has a way of taking things slowly, then suddenly. After losing his wife to illness and his only daughter moving abroad, Samuel's life became quieter, lonelier, and financially difficult. He never complained, though. He lived in a tiny rented room and spent most days repairing old toys and wooden chairs for a few coins. But Christmas, oh, Christmas meant something special to him. It reminded him of family, of warm lights, of the smell of cinnamon tea and the sound of hymns echoing through the house. This year, he had saved a few coins in a tin box, just enough, he hoped, to buy a small cake, maybe even a cup of warm tea. Christmas should feel like Christmas, he whispered to himself. That evening, he walked to the town bakery, only to find that prices had gone up. The cake he wanted was far beyond what he could afford. Still, he didn't want to leave immediately. He sat on a bench outside, watching happy families pick cakes, children hold colorful boxes, and couples wrap their arms around each other to stay warm. Samuel smiled at them gently, but deep inside, his heart ached. Hours passed. The bakery got emptier, the streets quieter, and the cold sharper. A young man named Daniel, who worked at a nearby store, locked up and walked toward his parked car. That's when he noticed Samuel sitting alone. The old man's shoulders were trembling. His eyes looked tired but peaceful, like he didn't want pity, only a little warmth. Daniel hesitated for a moment. He didn't want to make the old man uncomfortable. But something in his heart whispered, "Go, ask if he's okay." He slowly approached. "Sir?" he said softly. "It's freezing out here. Are you waiting for someone?" Samuel smiled, embarrassed. "No, son, just resting. Christmas is coming, and I thought maybe I'd buy something sweet. But it's all right. I'll head home soon." Daniel noticed the old man's thin jacket, his worn-out shoes, and the way he tried to hide disappointment behind a small smile. He asked, "Did you get what you wanted?" Samuel looked away. "I wanted to celebrate, even alone. But it seems Christmas is a little expensive this year." He laughed gently as if comforting himself. Daniel felt a sting in his chest. He had seen people struggling before. But something about this old man reminded him of his own grandfather, whom he lost 2 years earlier. He couldn't just walk away. "Sir," Daniel said, "would you join me for a cup of tea? It's on the way. I'd appreciate some company." Samuel blinked, surprised. "A stranger wants my company on Christmas Eve?" He smiled. Daniel nodded. "Well, then I would be honored," Samuel replied. Instead of taking him to a tea stall, Daniel gently guided Samuel back into the bakery. The warm smell of cinnamon and vanilla wrapped around them like a blanket. The baker raised her eyebrows. "Back again? Couldn't decide earlier?" Samuel blushed and shook his head, but before he could respond, Daniel spoke. "Can we have the Christmas special cake? And 2 cups of hot tea, please." Samuel immediately panicked. No, son, this is too much. A simple tea is enough. I don't want to trouble you." Daniel placed a hand on his shoulder. "You're not troubling me. Let me do this, please." The baker smiled kindly and prepared everything. For the first time in many years, Samuel sat at a warm table on Christmas Eve. When the cake arrived, decorated with white cream and a tiny chocolate star, his eyes softened with nostalgia. He whispered, "My wife used to buy a cake just like this." His voice cracked, but Daniel listened patiently. The old man shared stories of love, of loss, of how life had slowly emptied around him. He didn't speak with bitterness, only gratitude for the moments he once had. Daniel listened, moved deeper with every word, and then, something unexpected happened. The baker walked to them again and placed a small wrapped box on the table. "This," she said, "is for you, Mr. Samuel. A little Christmas gift." Samuel looked confused. "For me? But why?" She smiled warmly. "You fixed my father's old wooden chair last year and refused to take full payment. You said good deeds always come back. I didn't forget." Daniel looked at the baker, surprised, and she simply nodded. Samuel's hands trembled as he opened the little box. Inside was a soft woolen scarf, warm, beautiful, and exactly the color his wife once knitted for him. He pressed it against his chest, trying to hold back tears. I don't know what to say," Daniel said softly. "Just say you'll stay and finish the cake with me." The old man laughed through his tears. For the first time in years, Christmas didn't feel empty. It felt like a miracle unfolding quietly, through small, kind acts. After they finished eating, Daniel offered to walk Samuel home. The night was still cold, but Samuel felt a warmth he hadn't felt in a long time. As they reached his small rented room, Samuel turned to Daniel and said, "Tonight, son, you didn't just give me food. You reminded me that God still sends angels, but they don't always have wings. Sometimes they just wear jackets and carry warm smiles." Daniel lowered his head, touched by the words. Samuel continued, "Your kindness, it brought my Christmas back." Daniel hugged him gently. "Sir, you made my Christmas special too. I promise, I'll visit again." Samuel smiled, tears glistening in the moonlight. "I'll be waiting." As Daniel walked away, the street seemed brighter, the stars somehow closer. Inside his little room, Samuel wrapped the scarf around his neck, sat with the leftover cake beside him, and whispered, "Thank you for sending kindness to me tonight." The world outside was still cold, but Samuel's heart was full of warmth. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can change someone's world.